and welcome to the Nightline. I am Razi Ahmad. Let's get right into the news. No cases of weapons smuggling were reported in Sarawak so far. As such, Sarawak General Operations Force, GOF, are always vigilant in facing such possibility. Sarawak Commissioner of Police, Dato' i-Ismail, said Sarawak has a special force to monitor smuggling activities in the state.
Walaupun kita tidak boleh ambil ringan perkara ni yang seperti yang berlaku di sepadan Malaysia Thailand tu, dan kita akan terus pastikanlah anggota-anggota yang buat kawalan sepadan ni bersiap sedia dah dengan apa sewa ancaman yang mungkin berlaku.
He said this when commenting on the Tuesday incident which resulted in the death of a GOF personnel, Sergeant Baharuddin Ramli, while his partner, Sergeant Norihan, was seriously injured following a shootout with smugglers in Padang Besar, Perlis. A customs senior officer who implicated a network of individuals believed to be related to smuggling of illicit goods was faced with death threats while heading the operation. The suspects had resorted to violence and aggression following the government's measure to curtail the smuggling of illicit goods in the country through the Multi-Agency Task Force, or MATF.
Sarawak Commissioner of Police Dato' i-Ismail said in a statement that the officer received a letter containing 2 live bullets along with a threatening note at his residence along Jalan Matang. Concerned over his safety, the officer lodged a police report at Gita Police Station on Thursday. Acting on the information, the Sarawak Contingent Special Investigation Department D9 successfully detained 3 local men aged between 35 years to 39 years old to facilitate investigations. ID said the motive of the incident is believed to be related to a special operation carried out by the KUCHING Customs Enforcement Division in a district in Sarawak earlier this week, where the operation was led by the said officer. All suspects are now remanded for 4 days until December 1st. Further checks revealed that 2 of the 3 suspects have had prior criminal record under the Dangerous Drug Act 1952. Meanwhile, he said police are still tracking down another suspect identified as Yong King Ling, 35 years old, still at large, believed to be the mastermind for the case. ID urged anyone who has information to channel it to Investigating Officer Inspector Ramli Hussein at 013-896-8963 or come forward to any nearby police station. So far, 2 investigation papers have been opened under Section 507 of the Penal Code, which carries imprisonment for up to 7 years.
Be wary of falling victim to fake apps purporting to be for the withdrawal from Account 1 of the Employees Provident Fund, or EPF, through the i-Sinar program. Through the post on the official EPF Facebook page, it said it had never appointed a third party to manage the withdrawal of funds.
The statement states as of now, there are no apps being developed acquiring account holders' information for the special program. The download and registration process of EPF-I accounts, as well as reviews and transactions, can only be done online through the relevant apps. Besides that, the public are advised to refer to verified info through EPF's social media and official website. The fake apps used by the public include the MyFund app, as well as 3 apps with the same name, i-Sinar Online.
The Employees Provident Fund, or EPF, members who fulfill the eligibility criteria can apply for the i-Sinar program starting this December. In a statement on Friday, EPF said the first payment will begin 1 month after applications are approved.
Meanwhile, EPF will announce the details on i-Sinar early next week, following an announcement by Finance Minister Tengku Datuk Seri Zafrul Tengku Abdul Aziz on i-Sinar withdrawal. The details will cover the eligibility criteria of members who had their incomes affected, including those who lost their jobs or received a reduction in salary. Previously, Tengku Zafrul announced that the i-Sinar program is open to all EPF members. The maximum withdrawal amount has been increased to 10,000 ringgit for those with savings of 90,000 ringgit and below in Account 1. For Yusam Dao, the announcement has brought relief, especially to those affected by the COVID-19 pandemic.
amat diperlukan because kita pun boleh tengok sekarang ni kerja on off, kerja sekejap ada sekejap tak ada, betul? So memang perlulah, wajiblah i-Sinar dibagi semua rata. Yang one off untuk 10,000 tu amat diperlukan lah.
Pengeluaran i-Sinar ya baguslah untuk mereka yang ada kena efek dengan COVID-19 tu. Jadi ya sedikit sebanyak dapat membantu sidak yang terkesan dengannya lah.
Welcome back. Health Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Adam Baba said that the government is grateful towards the medical staff serving as frontliners for their dedication, especially in such critical moments. Therefore, the government has decided that medical staff under contract are to be absorbed as permanent employees.
Dr. Adams said that as long as the conditions are met, contract-based personnel can be converted into permanent employees. As for medical frontliners from Sabah and Sarawak, the Ministry of Health will give them priority to work in their own states prior to the quota of vacancies required by the relevant states. Therefore, medical staffs were interviewed on this call of resolution by the Ministry of Health.
First of all, I would like to thank YBMK for this big decision. All of my friends have been waiting for this decision ever since we started housemanship. And then by this decision as well, there will be more specialists will be in Malaysia because of this.
Okey, secara jujurnya dalam pelantikan dari pejawatan ke kontrak ke pejawatan tetap ni memang perlulah, sebab saya sendiri merupakan seorang lantikan kontrak. So bagi saya benda tu memang satu kebaikan untuk tetapkan dari kejawatan kontrak ke pejawatan tetap, sebab memang itu yang kami inginkan sebagai seorang pejawatan kontrak. Memang itu yang kami inginkan, memang itu yang kami minta daripada mereka KKM.
He said that the ministry has also cooperated with the Ministry of Higher Education to provide 1,200 degrees for medical staff so that they can continue their studies. As such, he also added that the benefits of specialist doctors are not only reflected in salary but also in many aspects of benefits.
No COVID-19 positive cases were recorded in Sarawak today, maintaining the number of cases in the state at 1,062. Adding to the good news is that Lawas is now declared a green zone, and the status of KUCHING district has turned yellow.
Sarawak State Disaster Management Committee SDMC in a statement today said Lawas had not recorded any new local transmission cases of COVID-19 in the last 14 days. While KUCHING's status has changed from orange to yellow, with a total of 18 local transmission cases reported in the last 14 days. For Miri District, it remains as a yellow zone as the district reported 3 local transmission cases in the last 14 days. The committee said despite not recording new COVID-19 infection, the state still has 6 active clusters, namely Besi, Jalan Abel, Baki, Sladah, Green Hill and Wisma Saberkas clusters, all located in KUCHING. Although the Conditional Movement Control Order CMCO comes to an end at midnight tonight, the entertainment sector, which includes nightclubs, pubs, karaoke lounge and reflexology centers across the state, are still not permitted to operate during the Recovery Movement Control Order RMCO from tomorrow, November 28th onwards. Sarawak State Disaster Management Committee SDMC in a statement today said sectors other than the entertainment would be allowed to operate in compliance with the Standard Operating Procedures SOP between 6 a.m. and 12 a.m. All business owners who had been allowed to resume operations are reminded to strictly adhere to the SOPs set by the Ministry of Health MOH, National Security Council MKN and Local Government and Housing Ministry during the implementation of the RMCO. Meanwhile, Ministry of Health MOH announced a total of 1,148 COVID-19 recovery cases today. This brings the total number of cumulative recoveries nationwide exceeding 50,000. Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah in a statement today said Malaysia on Thursday recorded the highest number of recoveries with 2,555 cases. For the number of new cases, Dr. Nur Hisham said Malaysia today recorded 1,109 new cases, taking the overall tally to 61,861.
Malaysia will acquire a supply of 12.8 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines to accommodate the 20% immunization requirement of 6.4 million Malaysians. Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin said the first supply delivery of 1 million doses will be made on the first quarter of next year.
The second quarter will bring in 1.7 million doses, followed by 5.8 million doses in the third quarter, and finally 4.3 million doses in the fourth quarter. He said the acquisition of vaccines from Pfizer is the result of an early purchase agreement signed between the government and the company through the Ministry of Health last Tuesday.
Perjanjian ini bertujuan untuk memastikan kerajaan mempunyai akses kepada data untuk menilai kualiti, keselamatan dan keberkesanan. Di samping menjamin akses pada vaksin tersebut sekiranya sedia untuk diedarkan oleh pihak syarikat. Pfizer pada 9 November 2020 menyatakan bahawa analisis data interim pertama menunjukkan keberkesanan vaksin ataupun vaksin efikasi ini adalah 95%.
He said this at a video press conference at Perdana Putra, Kuala Lumpur on Friday. He added, the government has assured that a vaccine to be used in Malaysia must pass strict conditions stipulated by the National Pharmaceutical Regulatory Agency.
In the bid to detect and manage epidemics during its initial stage through infectious disease surveillance, Chief Minister of Sarawak, Dato' Abang Zuhari Tun Openg, has recently announced to establish an Infectious Disease Research Centre, or IDRC.
According to the Maklaut Assemblyman, Dr. Hazlan Abang Hipni, such move will not only position Sarawak as the main research centre for infectious disease in the Asia Pacific, but also contributes to the development of global health in finding the cure and vaccine for infectious disease which have not been found. Dr. Hazlan Abang Hipni then said that the COVID-19 pandemic has left many developed countries have made it a global effort to produce and develop vaccine, which is still in the trial process. The establishment of an infectious disease research centre will also provide the best platform for more local scientists from Sarawak to get involved in more research activities. At the same time, Dr. Hazlan also pointed out that the production of this vaccine will be beneficial to the people of Sarawak in offering easy and equitable access to vaccines in the market.
At the policy stage on Thursday brought relief to job seekers who rely on various initiatives in the budget to continue with their life after losing their income due to COVID-19. Among the long-awaited initiative is definitely the Employment Generation Guarantee Scheme, Jana Kerja, which involves 500,000 employment opportunities starting next year.
According to Malaysian Trade Union Congress MTUC President Dato' Abdul Halim Mansur, to date, an estimated 800,000 people have lost their job due to the pandemic, with almost 100,000 receiving assistance from the Social Security Organisation, SOCSO, and the Employment Insurance System. He added there are about 700,000 who need the government's attention either in terms of new job opportunities or given assistance to become small entrepreneurs. Through the 2021 budget tabled on November 6, he said the government will continue with the recruitment of employees under SOCSO, known as Penjana Kerjaya, involving an allocation of 2 billion ringgit. According to research fellow of University of Malaya, Dr. Awang Azman, with the Penjana Kerjaya as part of the National Economic Recovery Plan, he added that the government should also implement opportunities for a digital system to allow those who have lost their jobs to no longer rely on their salary jobs alone.
The approvals by Parliament of the Supply Bill 2021 or Budget 21 at the policy stage yesterday brought a very big relief to job seekers who rely on various initiatives in the budget to continue with their life after lose their income due to COVID-19. Through the budget 2021, the government will continue with the recruitment of employees under SOSCO or now as Pejana Kejaya involving an allocation of 2 billion. We know that Pejana Kejaya, which is under the National Economy Recovery Plan of Pejana, is aimed at boosting job demand among employers and increasing job opportunities and employability among local job seekers. Presented as single young women, young people earning 2,500 and below will receive a system of 350 as the well implementation of Employment Generation Guarantee Schemes, Jana Kerja, which involve the provision of 500,000 jobs. This is maybe after this the question of the effectiveness of the one-off assistance 350 to cover the gap. So now the ball is under government needs to provide employment opportunities oriented to a digital system that actually allow youth and those who have lost the job to no longer rely on salary job allowance.
Hi, my name is Shafiq. I used to work freelance before the pandemic. So with the current pandemic, it's currently hard to find some sort of jobs or clients regarding my freelance work. So I think with the Jana Kerja scheme or initiative, I think it will be a great opportunity for those who have lost their job during the pandemic or those who are doing freelance before and after, during the pandemic to have a better job opportunity for themselves, and for those who create a small business out of it can also create other job opportunities for others.
Right. As an effort to assist the disabled in contributing back towards the community, the KUCHING's House of Joy, managed by KUCHING Association for the Disabled, has tailored skills training for the said group.
The concept of the service implemented by this association is based on the Chinese proverb, "Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day, teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime." Located in Stapok, the KUCHING Association for the Disabled supports social care by setting in 3 directions, namely service, advocacy and business. Chairman of the KUCHING Association for the Disabled, Shen Chiu Xiang, said the goal of this association focused on the development of 3 aspects, which are service, awareness and rights. So far, this association has 30 students and 5 trainers, where the trainers operate courses such as craft making, gardening, baking cakes, cleaning and much more. These trainers are responsible for training the disabled students in certain skills and at the same time teaching students to be independent and be able to contribute to the community. Among the other initiatives of this association is to create a friendly city that features transportation facilities to the disabled community. He added with this facility, this would enable easy commuting from one location to another with this special vehicle provided.
来说，让残障朋友可以上下的一个交通服务的里面，相信这一群朋友他们愿意走出来，然后就是鼓励在各方面。但是我看到政府都有在做，只是我们怎么样有一个桥梁，让我们跟他们能够直接能够直接落实在整个政府想要推动的这个服务的里面，这样子。
During the COVID-19 pandemic, this association was faced with financial issues. However, to deal with this problem, the association has launched a fundraising event through a concert to gather substantial funding. As such, this association is managed by Henry Goh, a former gang member who had a change of heart after watching a dance performance performed by the disabled people, and since then have served the association in making amends with himself.
当时我觉得很平安、很喜乐，但是变成我跟这黑社会所混的日子，真的是一点不开心呀。所以那时候我就决定就砍断这条路，来做这个走这个旅程咯。所以我这就 走这个里程呢，我希望就是坚持，希望我也希望让大家来看看我怎样改变自己，希望这样，好。
The Ministry of Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs, KPDN-HEP, has launched the Disaster Management Guidelines for Sustainability of Supplied Goods in preparation for the flood season. Preparation of supplied goods is to sustain the 3-month-long northeast monsoon period starting October and will last until March 2021, bringing heavy rainfall and flood.
Minister of Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs, Datuk Sri Alexander Nantalinggi, said that the actions under the guidelines include activating disaster operations control centers and enforcement command centers in the states involved. APD and HEP said that the ministry will act against any party who tries to take advantage by committing offences such as concealment, appropriation, imposing conditions of sales and refusing to sell, or any offence under the Control of Supplies Act 1961. Nanta also stresses that the actions will also be taken on those who commit offences under the Price Control and Anti-Profiteering Act 2011, such as profiteering or selling controlled goods above the stipulated price set under the flood season.
The Election Commission today set the polls for the P054 Greek Perak and N66 Bugaya Sabah by-elections on January 16, 2021. Election Commission Chairman Dato' Abdul Ghani Saleh said both by-elections must be held following vacancy notices from the Dewan Rakyat and Sabah State Legislative Assembly.
According to him, the nomination for the by-election has been set for January 4, while early voting is set for January 12. The two by-elections were forced to be held due to the unexpected vacancies of the seats following the death of their respective incumbents. Gerik seat incumbent Datuk Hasbullah Osman died on November 16, while Bugaya State seat incumbent Manis Muka Muhammad Darah died on November 17. With regards to the election, Abdul Ghani said the Election Commission has decided to follow the COVID-19 prevention guidelines for the implementation of election to prevent new outbreaks of COVID-19. According to the guidelines, nominated candidates are only allowed to establish one operation room, while smaller operation room or places for supporters to congregate are not allowed whatsoever.
The world has reached the grim milestone of 60 million cumulative positive COVID-19 cases, with 1.43 million deaths. According to the latest data by Johns Hopkins University, more than 700,000 new positive cases were recorded in a 24-hour period, bringing the total to 60,803,071 cases. America morbidly leads the world as the country worst affected, with more than 12.8 million cases. India recorded over 9.26 million cases, while Brazil reported 6.11 million cases. Statistics from Johns Hopkins University also revealed that total deaths around the world due to COVID-19 have reached 1.43 million. America continues to report the highest number of deaths with over 263,000, followed by Brazil with 170,000 deaths. And that concludes the Nightline. Thank you for joining me. I am Razi Ahmad for TVS. Have a good night and stay safe. Cheers.